No Bias, a Street Scene by Thomas Hardy, our last poem of our anthology. A load of brushes and baskets and cradles and chairs labours along the street in the rain. With it, a man, a woman, a pony, with whitey brown hairs. The man foots in front of the horse with a shambling sway, at a slower tread than a funeral train, while to a dirge-like tune he chants his wares, swinging to a Turk's head brush, in a drum major's way, when the bandsmen march and play. A yard from the back of the man is the whitey brown pony's nose. He mirrors his master in every item of pace and pose. He stops when the man stops, without being told, and seems to be eased by a pause. Too plainly he's old, indeed, not strength enough shows to steer the disjointed wagon straight, which wiggles left and right in a rambling line, deflected thus by its own warp and weight, and pushing the pony with it in each incline. The woman walks on the pavement verge, parallel to the man. She wears an apron white and wide in span, and carries a Turk's head, but more in nursing wise. Now and then she joins in his dirge, but as if thoughts were on distant things. The rain clams her apron till it clings. So, step by step, they move with their merchandise, and nobody buys. So what's the poem about? Well, it was written when Hardy was old, published in 1925. It's a small scene of daily life of a man and his wife who walk aimlessly, without any aim, through dull and uninterested streets, and they're trying to sell their merchandise or their things for sale. It's a very normal street scene. Some definitions for you. A load of brushes and baskets and cradles and chairs. A load means a heavy thing that is being carried. Cradles are what babies sleep in, like this. Labours along the street in the rain. Labour is to walk with great effort. With it, a man, a woman, a pony. A pony is a small horse, with whitey brown hairs. Whitey brown is a mix of white and brown, and it might show how old the horse is or the pony is because the white flecks in its fur might be a sign of age, like greying. The man foots in front of the horse. To foot is to walk, and especially a long and difficult distance, with a shambling sway. Shambling is to move in a slow, shuffling, awkward way, like when we're old. Sway is a rhythmical movement from side to side, at a slower tread than a funeral train. A tread is a walk, and a funeral train is a train specifically used to carry a coffin. While to a dirge-like tune. A dirge-like tune is a funeral song. A dirge is a funeral song. So he's singing like he's singing a funeral song. And he chants his wares, to say or shout in a sing-song way. So it might be something like, brushes, brushes, brushes for sale. His wares are things for sale. He's swinging to a Turk's head brush. Turk's head brush is a brush like this. In a drum major's way. A drum major is the male leader of a marching band. When the bandsmen march and play. The bandsmen are men in a marching band. A yard from the back of the man is the whitey brown pony's nose. A yard is a measure of distance which used to be used a lot in England, and it's equivalent to 0.91 of a meter. Whitey Brown, again, is a mix of white and brown. He mirrors his master in every item of pace and pose. Pace is how fast someone is walking, and pose is how you hold yourself. Do you hold your shoulders back and your head up high, or are your shoulders rounded and tired? He stops when the man stops without being told, and seems to be eased by a pause. The horse seems to be helped by a pause, because he's old. Indeed, not strength enough shows to steer the disjointed wagon straight. To steer is to guide, like we steer a car. Disjointed is not straight. And a wagon is this here, which horses pull and we put things on, which wiggles left and right in a rambling line. To wiggle is to move from side to side with quick movements. So this is my cursor wiggling. A rambling line is not straight, it's confused. Deflected thus by its own warp and weight. Deflected means to make something move in a different direction. Thus, as a result, because of its warp, its bentness, and its weight. So it's moving in an odd, not straight way because of how heavy and bent it is. And pushing the pony with it in each incline. An incline is a small uphill. The woman walks on the pavement verge. The pavement verge is on the edge of the pavement, or the sidewalk, where we walk. Parallel to the man. Parallel means side by side. She wears an apron. This is an apron here, which is wide and white in span. Span means the length of something. So it's white and wide. And she carries a Turk's head brush. Remember the Turk's head brush from the previous stanza? But more in nursing wise. So she's carrying it, but she's carrying it like a nurse would carry a baby. So she's cradling it in her arms. Now and then she joins in his dirge, she joins in his funeral song, the chanting of brushes, brushes, brushes for sale, but as if her thoughts were on distant things. The rain clams her apron till it clings. The rain makes her apron wet and makes it stick tightly to her. You know, when we're outside and our clothes get wet and they stick to us because of the rain, they are clinging to us. So, step by step, they move with their merchandise. Merchandise are things they're selling. And nobody buys. An example essay question here to think about. In what ways does Hardy make the people come vividly to life for you in No Buyers a Street Scene? So basically this question is asking, how does Thomas Hardy make those two characters, the man and his wife, come vividly to life for you? How does he make them seem very real and detailed in this poem?